Our political insiders live in the studio to discuss the Democratic National Convention. We have Charlie Giroux to my left, Tony May to the right. Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Tony, you just brought up something interesting. Before we get to the speeches from last night and what's expected tonight, you were talking about the people in the crowd at the DNC.
Yeah, the faces of the crowd at the Republican convention, understandably, reflected the Republican electorate, which was mostly white. And if you looked at the crowd last night, you would see that fully half of the crowd were females, and there were people from every race and creed, from all of the faces of the world that were there. It's the difference between...
But you just told me there's a quota system.
Well, there's a quota system that there has to be exactly 50% women and 50% men.
Maybe that accounts for half the women being in the audience today. I don't know.
Touche.
I'm sorry, I cut you off before you made your point.
No, the point is, I think you see the face of the Democratic Party versus the face of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is representing a more and more narrow slice of America, and the challenge for the Democrats in the convention is to motivate all the rest of the people in the country to go out and vote.
Well, the Democratic Party's platform has been, you know, one for everybody. I mean, there's really no focus on race for the Democratic Party.
Interesting that Tony, for the last two nights, has focused on the fact that the Democrats' job is somehow to motivate their base. And I think he's right, because the Democratic base and independents who voted for Barack Obama 4 years ago are very discouraged, very despondent about the direction this country is headed under President Obama. The economy is in a shambles. They're going to try to somehow tonight tell us it's hunky-dory. Nobody's buying that. And the fact of the matter is that there are an awful lot of people who voted for Barack Obama 4 years ago who are just plain disappointed. That's their challenge. I don't know how they overcome it, but that's their challenge this week, is to overcome the disappointment that this administration has brought the American people.
Well, speaking about their platform, Tony, today the Democrats had to change a lot of their platform or add to it. They had to add the word God. They had to add the word Jerusalem. They were adding things.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so they're making these changes, but saying they were just mistakes left out. How bad does that hurt them?
It doesn't hurt them at all if they made the changes and it made a portion of the electorate more motivated to go out and vote for Democrats. I mean, the fact that this was not a cut and dried convention, as reporters, we should relish that. We'd have to say, gee, they actually were making decisions along the way. It wasn't just all a big stage show.
All right, real quick, Michelle Obama spoke last night. She's a powerful speaker. How do you think she walked away from that?
She makes a good speech, like her husband, when she's reading off the teleprompter. It's what she didn't say that really was so telling. I mean, she tried to trot out this notion that jobs are rebounding under President Obama. I mean, if you look at the job creation under this administration, especially most recently, these are low-paying jobs. We've replaced family-sustaining jobs with retail and food service jobs. That's not what the American people want. That's not what they're looking for. That's not the hope that they looked to 4 years ago.
What do you hope?
Charlie, where are your jobs generators? Where are your billionaires creating these jobs that you say we need? You believe that these are the people who create the jobs. They're not doing their job.
This administration, Tony, has stifled the economy.
How so? They haven't stifled the economy. The billionaires still have their money. They still have low taxes.
But what's interesting here is that the rich get richer thing that Tony likes to talk about has occurred more during the Obama administration than during the administration of George W. Bush. I mean, that's the fact of the matter, and it's the fact that we have low-paying jobs coming into the... No, absolutely not. I'm not one of those rich guys, Tony. That may be your class, but one of the things you don't see at the Democratic National Convention is that debt clock, which interestingly hit $16 trillion yesterday. That's the legacy of this administration. I've been saying it for months, that in the final analysis, debt is going to be the biggest word of this campaign.
All right, we got to wrap you there. We're running out of time. We are out of time, actually. But tomorrow, we're going to have you guys back, and we'll discuss how former President Bill Clinton did tonight.
That's right. We'll take a look at that.
Maybe so. We'll have an arm wrestle. Well, coming up next.